Let me give you line-by-line instructions for the $350,000 Huntington Bank business loan application form. This is a great loan, and I'm going to show you how to apply for this loan line by line. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you are to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to walk you step by step through the Huntington Bank business loan application form. And this loan, the maximum loan amount here is $350,000. And to get this loan, first you have to go to the huntington.com, that's the website, and you have to go to the small business section. And once you do this, you want to focus on borrowing, okay? Because they have a lot of services. You want to focus on borrowing. And by the way, folks, you can also apply for this loan either at a branch or over the phone. But in today's conversation, I'm going to show you how to actually do things online or through paper form, okay? So you want to focus on borrowing. So you have business loan overview, you have business line of credit, you have a practice finance, you have business term and real estate loans, you have the SBA guaranteed business loans. And so the bottom line here is that whether you are focusing on a term loan or a business line of credit, the kind of information that Huntington Bank requires is kind of analogous. It's kind of similar, okay? So once you go to borrowing, you need to select business loan overview. You can see on the screen here. Remember that you can either contact a relationship manager or apply now. So you want to click on apply now. So once you click on that, what you will see is that you can apply for up to $350,000 for your business today through this application. So if you are a commercial banking or non-Huntington customer, you want to contact a relationship banker to find the lending product that is right for you. And the cool thing here is that you can always open a business checking account or a business savings account with Huntington Bank to be able to improve your chances of being approved for this $350,000 business loan, okay? And the cool thing also is that the bank has excellent customer service representatives who can help you with any question that you have, okay? So please do not hesitate. It's also important before we start the actual application process to make sure that you have all the paperwork ready, that you have your business tax returns, you have your financial statements, if applicable. All right, let's start. Look on the screen right now, folks. Here is the first page here. So here they're asking you for some kind of basic information. They're asking you for your legal name. This is the name of the company. The tax ID number. This is actually your EIN. This is a number that you got from the IRS, all right? You can see here that they're not asking for your social security number because they're not interested in that. You want to have an EIN only business application here. So you put the company address, the city, zip, state. You want to put your company phone number. Make sure you put the right phone number. They will verify that. Okay, they'll verify that. And you can see that some information has some data have, I would say, stars next to them. This is because of the Patriot Act requirements. This is important. You want to put the number of employees you have, the county, the year the company was established, and then you want to put more information around your finances, your company's finances. So annual sales revenue. This is gross, not net revenue, but gross revenue. So this is top of the line. Okay, and the number of years with current owners. So they just want to have a clear information about the ownership here, and this is the kind of information that should be seen also in the statement of owner's equity, which is one of the 4 financial statements that Huntington Bank might have to review before approving this business loan. The other 3 are balance sheet, income statement, and statement of cash flows. And here they're asking you for a business checking bank. So where you have a business checking account right now, it's a lot better to have everything with Huntington Bank if you want to get a loan from them, especially the $350,000 loan. If you have they want you to put the account number and the average checking balance. Here they care about your liquidity and the type of organization. Here you have to say if you're a C Corp, S Corp, LLC, LLP, all that kind of stuff. Now they want you to describe what kind of products and services that you offer. Okay, and if your company has ever declared bankruptcy, you want to indicate that. And if any of the guarantors ever declared bankruptcy, they want to indicate that. If there are any outstanding lawsuits, those are what we call in accounting or finance contingent liabilities, right? So if there is any kind of lawsuits going on, any kind of outstanding tax obligations, or any kind of pending IRS initiatives, the bank wants to have a clear idea, because when they do this kind of, when they underwrite business loans, they want to pay attention to the holistic picture. They want to have a holistic picture of the liability situation here. Moving on here, they want to have more information about the owners, people who own 20% or more of the equity in the business. Again, if you remember earlier, I was telling you that there is a statement called the Statement of Owner's Equity, which is where you talk about the kind of capital that the owners have injected into the business. So here you want to put for each owner that has more than 20% ownership equity stake in the business, you want to put their name, the title, their address, their social security number, their home phone number, the percentage ownership. The bank also wants to have a clear idea of the net worth of that owner and the owner's gross income. This is important for Huntington Bank because they want to just have an idea of the liquidity situation of the owners. This is because, again, if you are guaranteeing, if the owners are posting a personal guarantee, then the bank wants to make sure that the owners they have some kind of moolah, right? They need to have some kind of ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. So this is what they're asking. And here they are asking you the type of credit requested. In this application, we will be focusing on the business term loan, but you can see also that they have other types of business funding. So they have the business credit line, the business time loan, the business overdraft protection, the business home equity line of credit, and the ACH risk exposure. Now, ACH risk exposure is some kind of it's a specific funding program that Huntington Bank has for its business clients, and this kind of helps you in terms of if you have some kind of ACH transactions and there is some kind of fraud, then the bank will kind of cover that. Okay, and one thing I want to say here is that for each type of loan, you need to put the dollar amount that you are requesting. And you have to specify whether this is a new credit program requested or this is a renewal. For instance, if you are asking for a business term loan, then you have to say this is new. And the purpose here is kind of clear because the banks wants to have an idea of what the money will be used for. This is what we call the use of loan proceeds, and this has some kind of regulatory implications because the government wants to fight money laundering. So for that purpose, they have I would say instructed banks to learn more about what the money will be used for. So you put the purpose there. This could be for inventory purposes, to expand, to initiate marketing campaigns, whatever it is. You just want to write it down in that little box here. Next, here we are talking about collateral. One thing we have seen based on our analysis is that Huntington Bank can do business loans that are not collateralized for smaller amounts, but the higher you go in the amounts, let's say you are looking for $350,000 or $300,000, unless your company is really solid from a liquidity perspective, you're going to have to post collateral, okay? And if you are required to post collateral, the bank wants you to indicate that collateral. So here you can see here they're asking you for what the collateral is. Also, all business assets. You want to include accounts, inventory, and equipment. Accounts here means accounts receivable, means the amounts that you are expecting from your customers. And you can also specify equipment vehicle. So if you're pledging a vehicle as collateral, you want to put the make, the model, and the value. Very important. The value is important because you do have some kind of loan to value implications here. If you are pledging real estate, you need to specify what kind of real estate you are pledging. You need to put the address, location, the estimated FMV, the fair market value. If there are any liens or mortgages on the real estate, you want to specify that, because at the end of the day, if you are pledging something as collateral, let's say a property as collateral, and there is a mortgage on that collateral, the bank needs to know the portion of the equity, what we call the free, quote unquote, free portion of the equity in that property. Okay, and if you have other assets that you want to pledge, you want to check the other box and you want to specify what it is. We've seen transactions where the bank might accept if you have, let's say, some kind of interest in third parties, interest in joint ventures, for example. This is possible, but again, you need to speak to a loan rep to make sure that this kind of assets, this kind of other assets is applicable. Next, they have authorization and representations. This is purely legal. You want to read this. This is important, especially if you are going for a high amount business loan. You want to read that, make sure that you understand. If you don't understand, please hire a lawyer or have a lawyer read through everything before you sign. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We are still having a conversation about Huntington Bank business loan application, line-by-line instructions. And I want to show you now that all owners of the business must sign. So you can see on the screen here that you want to sign, you want to date, okay? And if you have more owners than if you have, let's say here we have what? We have we have space for 6 owners. If you have more, you want to attach an additional page, not a problem. Okay. And here, one thing I need to say here also is that Huntington Bank has to give you 2 notices. You have to read them. So they have the USA Patriot Act notice. This is about tracking anything about AML, making sure that they track money laundering. They will ask you for all kind of information so that the government can help track, this sort of illicit money. And then they also have the Equal Credit Opportunity Act notice. And this is where, again, this is more like regulatory compliance purposes, but you need to know that. One thing I need to mention here when we speak about the signers doesn't have to be an owner. The signer can be a senior representative of the company. It can be the CEO, the CFO. It can be the HR manager. Any person who has authority within the company to sign on behalf of such company can be a signer. Okay. And one thing you need to understand also is that the signer has a legal risk. Because the signer is actually acting on behalf of the company. So make sure that the person who is signing, if you are signing a Huntington Bank business loan application, make sure that you read everything. Make sure that you are, because you might have some kind of personal exposure depending upon the states where you are signing from. So this is kind of important. Bottom line is, make sure the information is accurate to the best of your ability, to the best of your knowledge. Make sure that the information is complete. Make sure that you double check everything, especially the financial statements, but also everything about value, everything about the collateral. For instance, all the collateral information must be updated. Continuing here, I'm showing you other information that you need to pay attention to. This is the right to receive a copy of appraisal. Again, this is for regulatory purposes. You don't have to, you can read through it, but it's not really that important here for the purpose of this show. So I'm going to quickly skip it. And if you look on the screen here, here, Huntington is asking you for your personal financial statements. So this applies for small businesses that are not able to structure the application on an EIN only basis. So if you are not able to divorce your personal affairs from your business affairs, then you will need to submit a personal financial statements. So Huntington is asking you for your name, your spouse's name, because again, at the end of the day, they want to make sure that they cover their ass. So they want to have as much information about you and your spouse. You have to put your address, your city, state, your zip, your occupation, your social security number, your date of birth, your home telephone number, and your business telephone number. Okay. And one thing, what I want to specify here is that the bank wants to make sure that you are basically who you say you are and that you are clean. Remember that they are asking you for, if you read the four boxes there, they say, I'm providing this personal financial statement to the Huntington Bank or lending office where the application has been made in connection with. Then you have to actually check the right box. My application to Huntington for an extension of credit or other business relationship. Okay, so this is if you already have a loan or line of credit with them and you want to extend it. So you want to click on that particular one. Or the second box says the application of blah, blah, blah to Huntington for an extension of credit or other business relationship for which I'm willing to be a co-signer or guarantor. So this is if you are acting in a co-signer or guarantor capacity, you're not a primary signer, you're not the primary applicant. So you go with the second box, you check it. The third box, you will check it if the application of so-and-so, of which I am the principal owner, partner, executive officer, or director to Huntington for an extension of credit or other business relationship with Huntington. And and the fourth part says review by Huntington. What I'm trying to say here is that at the end of the day, you need to sign. I mean, for this purpose, for today's conversation, the best box for you should be the first one. Even though we're not extending credit, the second, third, and fourth one do not apply either. So you want to go for the first one. Remember that if anything does not apply, you can still have an additional page and write whatever applies on a piece of paper and attach it to the application. Now let's dive a little deep into what we talk about, the personal financial statement. What is that? What does that mean really when we speak about personal financial statement? You can see here that basically we have a condition as of blah, blah, blah. This is a typical balance sheet. So you have on one end, you have assets, so everything that you own. And on the other hand, you have liabilities, everything you owe. Okay, so here you just have to fill out whatever applies to your situation. You have to do this for yourself, but also your spouse and for the joint, for your household. Because you as a primary applicant might have something that does not apply at the joint level. So you want to do the same thing for the liabilities, okay? Everything from short-term debts to long-term debts. And you want to total everything at the bottom, okay? And if you subtract your total liabilities from your total assets, you have your net worth. And then at the bottom, you have your total assets must equal your total liabilities and net worth. This is just the typical balance sheet format. And then you have something called contingent liabilities. So contingent liabilities here, as I was telling you earlier, those are liabilities that might actually arise out of something that hasn't happened yet. For example, this could be a lawsuit, and the court hasn't made a decision yet, so you're still in limbo here, okay? And you want to go now for the income statement. So the annual income, so you put it in one column, everything from salary, wages, commissions, rents and royalties, all that kind of stuff, and then your expenses. So you total everything. So you have total income and total liability, total expenses rather. And you do the same thing for yourself and your spouse and for the joint. So for both people, okay? And when you subtract your expenses from your income, then you have your net income, your disposable income. Next, you can see here they have details relative to assets and liabilities. And here, this is all the schedules. You have cash on deposits, other investments, stocks and bonds, notes and accounts receivable, life insurance, and real estate. It's just that Huntington Bank is trying to have as much detail as possible about your financial life, your net worth. So this is something you need to and make sure that you are as detailed as possible, folks. Very important, especially everything that changes value all the time, like stocks and bonds, for example. You need to be very clear about that. Next, you can see here where it says Schedule 6. So notes payable, so unsecured and with security other than real estate. So the banks wants to have a clear idea of your other liabilities. So here you have to put who you owe the money to, the balance, the date when due, interest rate, all that kind of stuff. Okay, and remember, notes payable can be a loan, it can be anything else, but it is a liability. And it can be short term. In other words, it is due within 12 months, or a long term, it is due in a period that is in excess of 1 year. And Schedule 7, you have contracts and open accounts unpaid. So this is accounts payable. You have insurance payable, anything that is payable. The banks wants to have that. You have to understand. So when you have your balance sheet, the banks want to have other information about you. Okay, and the next section, other information. So they want to have more information about if you owe any kind of taxes at the state, county, or federal level, if there are any judgments pending against you, if you are a partner, owner of any firm, okay, and they're just trying to extend. They want to have as much information about you. That's what it is. And one thing I also need to say here is that, you know where it says, have you ever declared bankruptcy? If so, when? This is important. This has an important implication for the business loan, especially if you have not made it on an EIN only basis. In other words, the Huntington Bank is going to pay attention to that quote unquote liability of your past history to make a decision. And if you have a will, they will want to know who are the beneficiaries of that will, for instance. And they also say here, are you obligated on any lease not included in liabilities above? Those are what we call in accounting off balance sheet obligations. So the bank they're just trying to get as much intel about your financial life as possible. Okay. And here they also say, are any of the assets listed on these financial statements controlled by a trust? So this is information, what I call ancillary information that the bank wants to have about you. So please try to answer as truthfully as possible. And so once you do that, you just need to sign, you need to date, and that's pretty much it. Okay. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, folks, this is it for today's conversation. I was actually walking you through the $350,000 Huntington Bank business loan application form, line by line instructions. And I hope you learned a lot. I wish you all the best. God bless you. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.